trying to work this new stand doohickey. Y'all ready to make some biscuits? Let's get this party started. Hey guys, welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. Patera with you. I may have to move this. We're making biscuits, and I'm going to show you how to make the most wonderful, fluffy, big, tall biscuits. Some of you all have seen my pictures from Christmas where we had a wonderful Christmas Eve breakfast dinner here at the house, and I made a huge batch of biscuits and they were massive and wonderful. So I'm not just going to show you the recipe. I have a ton of recipes, but what we're going to focus on is the techniques that help you make beautiful biscuits regardless of what recipe you choose to use. Let's get started. All right, so while I adjust this doohickey I've got, we're so fancy here at Appalachia's Homestead. Listen, I'm going to use the 2-ingredient biscuit recipe. I've got a video on it. Lots of people love to make it. It's enjoyable. It's light and fluffy. It's a great quick recipe if you are a beginner in terms of making biscuits. It's great for your teenagers to do. It's great for everybody. It's great for strawberry shortcakes. Oh my gosh. But I will put a link down below, maybe in the comments and in the description. There are some blogs, some very old blogs from going back even like 2014, 2015 that were using this recipe. It's even with King Arthur. So I'll put that down there. So you're going to ask me, but can you see me? Okay, so here's the deal, y'all. Yes, you do hear a baby goat out on the porch. You know, I got babies, got lots of babies. So the first thing that you want to do before you ever make any of your biscuits, this is coming from me. This is what I do. It may not be what you do, what your Aunt Liz does, or what your mama did. This is what Patera does. So the first thing you want to do is you want to preheat your oven. I have found that I like to make my biscuits around 400 to 425. Some people do them up to 500, y'all. Y'all do what you want. I don't, so you kind of fish and explore, okay, what you like to do. So my oven is already preset at 425 degrees. She's rocking and rolling. Here is a huge tip for wonderful biscuits, regardless of the recipe. Hey, as you get you some cast iron, I like Lodge a whole lot. I love to use their flat griddles. I have the big ones. I have them in all shapes. This is my #1 pan here in the house. I'm going to put it in the oven, and I'm going to let it preheat. Woo! At 425. Okay, tried and true, my favorite self-rising flour for this particular recipe. You may use self-rising flour, you may not, depends on your recipe, but this is what we're using, and this is the best I have found. I love it. White Lily, my grandmother's used it years and years and years. We still use it. But if you'll notice the little emblem down here, it's red, okay? I get this, usually you can find it at around here at like the Food Line, Food City, Walmart, okay? The red emblem, it is unbleached self-rising flour, yeah baby, by White Lily, and it's my favorite. It makes delicious biscuits if you're going to be using a self-rising flour. So I'm going to be using about 2 cups of this, but here we go into step #1 for the ultimate biscuit. Okay, we're going to have to put him in his playpen, and then I'm going to have to wash up again, I know. But somebody has been a stinker and had to be seen. So here he is. Are you happy? Okay, so we're gonna scoop out 2 cups of flour. You can use a little bit less if you get used to making biscuits like this. You don't really measure. That's the thing that you need to know. This recipe originally called for, depending on who you listen to, it's like a 1-to-1 ratio. You're gonna do 1 cup of flour per 1 cup of the liquid, which is going to be our heavy cream, okay, our heavy whipping cream. Some people use less. I have found that I end up using a little bit less, but I don't measure. But you're going to see what I'm doing. Make these a couple of times and you'll get your rhythm. But step #1 in making the ultimate biscuit, regardless of recipe, to make it rise sky high, y'all, is definitely to sift it. Get a sifter. It's a great investment. I don't always sift because I'm just like you. I get a little lazy. But I'm telling you, this step right here is your first step in making awesome biscuits. Okay, so my oven is preheating. at 425. It's already hot and ready to go. My cast iron is in there. Look here, I'm not, okay, look here. She plops it in there. Mama starts to sift. Okay, so we're going to be cheating. This is a cheater's recipe, but man, is it a good one. All you're doing is using the self-rising flour, and you are going to be using heavy whipping cream. This is like a treat of a biscuit. This is not my particular biscuit recipe, but I do use it often. I keep this in the fridge. It's great for someone who's never made biscuits before to try out. So this is what I'm going to be adding into the sifted flour. So remember, sift your flour. All right, so we have 2 cups of flour. This is going to make a good 6 to 8 big biscuits easily, okay? So I'm going to put 1 cup in. Ooh, splash it on the countertop. That's obligatory. You got to do that. Now, I'm going to do about 1.5 cups. Let's see how this lands up. I just made that up. It lands up. Have you ever heard that before? Me neither. So let's just go with it and see what it looks like, okay? The good thing about learning to make biscuits on the fly is that you learn the consistency that you want. So like I said, you're gonna get in here and you're gonna mix it. You're gonna make a mixed dough, but it's also going to have a little bit of stickiness to it. And then you're gonna know, and the only way you truly know, guys, is by trial and error. You just gotta get in there and do it. If you mess it up, so what? Just put some gravy on it. It's still good. Got my biscuit cutter, got my rolling pin. I use a French rolling pin. So let's see what this is looking like. Move this out of the way. All right. We'll get our hands in it in just a second, I promise. Expect to have to mix it up. Oh, it's looking good. All right, we're gonna roll. Okay, so we've already talked about tip number 1, which is sifting your flour. All right, so we're gonna put some flour on the top here. Just mix it around. Like that. Time to go. Okay, so the big deal here is when you get your dough going on the countertop, you really don't want to overwork it, okay? You just want to kind of knead it over a couple of times. This isn't even, and I've got it in some flour, just a little bit of flour. Make a mess. It's okay. It's okay. You can see I've got a nice dough right here. Right there. See? It's like patting a little baby's booty. Okay. I had to bring you closer. I like to roll out my biscuits and cut them. Some people like to drop them. I don't, so if you're going with this technique, this is what I do. This is what I'm doing next to show you how to make sky-high biscuits. You're going to roll it out, sister. Roll it out. I don't have a set height, maybe somewhere around a, I don't know, 1/4 to a 1/2 inch or so. Just roll it out. You can see this dough is so nice. Barely have to have any flour on it, okay? Not even sticking. Do you see how beautiful that is? I just went right into it. Was not even sticking to the rolling pin. That's what you want right there. But here's the trick. Are you ready? Look at that. Look, is that not beautiful? Okay, tip number 2 is I fold the dough. You may end up getting 1 or 2 less biscuits total because you are putting all of your dough into height as opposed to just flat out little width where you'll get just more like little hockey pucks. It's all about what you prefer. Now you can make your dough thicker and go with that. It's still going to be a beautiful biscuit. Sometimes I just go with that too. But honestly, 1 good fold, if you really want to get crazy, you'll do 2 folds. But like I said, less biscuits. But that's how you're going to do it here, okay? 1 good fold, and then we're simply just going to roll it out a little bit more, okay? Don't go crazy, but just roll it out. And look at that. Perfect. Okay. Go ahead and take that cast iron skillet out. You don't want it to burn or scald the bottom of it. You just want it to get really nice and hot. So So just let it sit for a second, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna butter the bottom of that, but you still have to cut your biscuits. But you just have it out ready to roll so that after you cut, which I'm about to show you, then it'll be ready to rock. Now, this next tip I've said to you 100 times on videos and Instagram and every which, I'll tell you this at the grocery store. If you're cutting your biscuits, use whatever cutter you want, folks. I'm not going to debate that. I like this because it gives me a nice size biscuit. These are actually nut choppers, or I call them biscuit cutters. You can get this on Amazon. I'll try to link it below. Quick and easy. And the thing is you can press out the biscuit. It just plops out. It doesn't get stuck like it does typically, like in a, a jar. But I like this, and you're going to see why. But it's all about personal preference. But I'm telling you, don't chubby checker those biscuits. Some people use lard or Crisco or other things. I just find that good old butter right on the skillet is what you want, because that's what you're going to put your biscuits on. Boom. So this is why I prefer these types of cutters, because I can come right down on the dough, go straight down. Do not twist your cutters. You got folks out there with rings that you use for canning, and then they have to twist in order to bring it back up. This handle keeps you from having to twist. Now, a jar will do that too, but then what if it gets stuck in there? Okay, so see what I'm saying? It's right there, ready to roll. Now, after my first cutting, it's not typically like the first. That dough is really thick. I just quickly stamp them out. So a lot of times when you see my pictures, don't twist. Don't twist. A lot of times when you see my pictures, you'll see that some of them look kind of the same. Then I've got one or two that are a little wonky. It's because they've come around for that second cutting. See, look how thick that is. I'm just going to smash it down. See that right there? That's homegrown, honey. That's home cooking. Then you always have this last little baby, so we're just going to stick it on there. That's what I call my little dummy biscuit. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 good biscuits, and then this one right here, which is just as good with that molasses, butter, or honey, whatever you prefer. Okay, we're going to put it in the oven at 425 for about 15 minutes, give or take. You got to eyeball it. All right, not bad. Now remember, if you fold twice, they're going to be even higher. You're going to want to space them out a little bit more also so they can bake in the middle, right there. See that? Perfect. Remember what I told you. Sift your flour, fold once, and when you cut, do not twist it. Don't chubby checker. So y'all get in the kitchen, try these tips out, use what recipe works for you. It's all good. We'll see you on the next video.